Chernihiv, also known as Chernigov, a historic city in northern Ukraine, serves as the administrative center of the Chernihiv Oblast, as well as of the surrounding Chernihiv Raion within the oblast. The city had an estimated population of around 296,008. Geography. Chernihiv stands on the Desna River to the north-northeast of Kiev. History. Chernihiv was first mentioned in the Byzantine treaty, but the time of establishment is not known. According to the items uncovered by archaeological excavations of a settlement which included artifacts from the Kazakh Khaganate, it seems to have existed at least in the 9th century. Towards the end of the 10th century, the city probably had its own rulers. It was that the Black Grave, one of the largest and earliest royal mounds in Eastern Europe, was excavated in the 19th century. In the southern portion of the Kievan Rus, the city was the second by importance and wealth. From the early 11th century it was the seat of powerful Principality of Chernigov, whose rulers at times vied for power with Kievan Grand Princes, and often overthrew them and took the primary seat in Kiev for themselves. The Grand Principality was the largest in Kievan Rus and included not only the Severian towns but even such remote regions as Murom, Ryazan and Tutarakhan. The Golden Age of Chernayev, when the city population peaked at 25,000, lasted until 1239, when the city was sacked by the hordes of Batu Khan, which started a long period of relative obscurity. The area fell under the Grand Duchy of Lithuania in 1353. The city was burned again by Crimean Khan Chernihiv in 1482 and 1497, and in the 15th to 17th centuries it changed hands several times between Lithuania, Muscovy, and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, where it was granted Magdeburg rights in 1623 and in 1635 became a seat of Chernihiv Voivodeship. The area's importance increased again in the middle of the 17th century during and after the Khmelnytsky uprising. In the Hetman state, Chernihiv was the city of deployment of Chernihiv Cossack Regiment. Under the 1667 Treaty of Andrusovo, the legal suzerainty of the area was ceded to Tsardom of Russia, with Chernihiv remaining an important center of the autonomous Cossack Hetmanate. With the abolishment of the Hetmanate, the city became an ordinary administrative center of the Russian Empire and a capital of local administrative units. The area in general was ruled by the governor-general appointed from St. Petersburg, the imperial capital, and Chernihiv was the capital of local names Stanichestvo, Malorossiyskaya, a Little Russian, and Chernigov Governorate, according to the census of 1897. In the city of Chernihiv there were about 11,000 Jews out of the total population of 27,006. The primary occupations were industrial and commercial. Many tobacco plantations and fruit gardens in the neighborhood were owned by Jews. There were 1,321 Jewish artisans in Chernihiv, including 404 tailors and seamstresses, but the demand for artisan labor was limited to the town. There were 69 Jewish day laborers, almost exclusively teamsters, but few were engaged in the factories. During World War II, Chernihiv was occupied by the German army from the 9th of September 1941 to the 21st of September 1943. Architecture. Chernihiv's architectural monuments chronicle two most flourishing periods in the city's history, those of Kievan Rus and of the Cossack Hetmanate. The oldest church in the city and one of the oldest churches in Ukraine is the five-domed Transfiguration Cathedral, commissioned in the early 1030s by Mstislav the Bold and completed several decades later by his brother Jaroslav the Wise. The Cathedral of Sts Boris and Gleb, dating from the mid-12th century, was much rebuilt in succeeding periods, before being restored to its original shape in the the 20th century. Likewise built in brick, it has a single dome and 6 pillars. The crowning achievement of Chernihiv masters was the exquisite Pyanitska church, constructed at the turn of the 12th and 13th centuries. This graceful building was seriously damaged in the Second World War. Its original medieval outlook was reconstructed to a design by Peter Baranovsky. The earliest residential buildings in the downtown date from the late 17th century, a period when a Cossack regiment was deployed there. Two most representative residences are those of Polkovnik Lysohub and Polkovnik Polybatok. The former mansion, popularly known as the Mazepa House, used to contain the regiment's chancellery. One of the most profusely decorated Cossack structures is undoubtedly the ecclesiastical collegium, surmounted by a bell tower. The archbishop's residence was constructed nearby in the 1780s. St. Catherine Church, with its 5 gilded paired domes, traditional for Ukrainian architecture, is thought to have been intended as a memorial to the regiment's exploits during the storm of Azov in 1696. Monasteries all through the most trying periods of its history, Chernihiv retained its ecclesiastical importance as the seat of bishopric or archbishopric. At the outskirts of the modern city lie 2 ancient cave monasteries, formerly used as the bishop's residences. The caves of the Iletsky Monastery are said to predate those of the Kiev-Pekas Klavra. Its magnificent 6-pillared cathedral was erected at the turn of the 11th and 12th centuries. Some traces of its 750-year-old murals may still be seen in the interior. After the domes collapsed in 1611, they were augmented and reconstructed in the Ukrainian Baroque style. The wall, monastic cells, and bell tower all date from the 17th century. The nearby Mother Superior's house is thought to be the oldest residential building in the left bank Ukraine. The cloister's holiest icon used to be that of Theotokos, who made her epiphany to Sviatoslav of Chernigov on the 6th of February 1060. The icon, called Aletskaya after the fir wood it was painted upon, was taken to Moscow by Sviatoslav's descendants Princes Bayutinsky in 1579. The nearby cave monastery of St. Elijah and the Holy Trinity features a small eponymous church which was constructed 800 years ago. The Romy Trinity Cathedral, one of the most imposing monuments of the Cossack Baroque, was erected between 1679 and 1689. Its refectory, with the adjoining church of presentation to the temple, was finished by 1679. There are also the 17th-century towered walls, monastic cells, and the 5-tiered belfry from the 1780s. Other historic abbeys may be visited in the vicinity of Chernihiv. Those in Kozlets and Hostany contain superb samples of Ukrainian national architecture. The area is served by Chernihiv Shestovitsa Airport, and during the Cold War it was the site of Chernigov Air Base. Climate. Chernihiv has a humid continental climate with cold, cloudy and snowy winters, and warm, sunny summers. The average annual temperature for Chernihiv is 7.0 degrees Celsius, ranging from a low of -5.6 degrees Celsius in January to a high of 19.5 degrees Celsius in July. Precipitation is well distributed throughout the year, though precipitation is high during the summer months and low during the winter months. The record high was 39.0 degrees Celsius and the record low was -36.0 degrees Celsius. Gallery. Famous people from Chernihiv. Jacob Tamarkin, Russian-American mathematician born in Chernihiv. Anatoly Rybakov, Russian writer. Vladimir Antonov Ovsyenko, Soviet Bolshevik leader and diplomat. Vadim Pruranov, keyboardist for the extreme power metal band Dragon Force. Chernihiv Raion, Polish-Ukrainian sculptor born in Chernihiv. Edward White's Israeli Olympic weightlifter. Andriy Yarmolenko, Ukrainian footballer raised in Chernihiv who plays for Dynamo Kiev. International relations. Twin towns. Sister cities. Chernihiv is currently twinned with Gomel, Belarus, Memmingen, Bavaria, Germany, Tarnobrzeg, Poland, Petah Tikva, Israel, Gabrovo, Bulgaria, Radek Krolove, Czech Republic, Ogub, Latvia, Prilep, Macedonia.